Thank you, Michael. Today, Jerry Robinette is going to be doing speech number 8. We're very much looking forward to it. Hopefully he can get to the podium all right. He's got a little bit of a hobble to him, but his speech actually has a mystery title, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Jerry?
Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests. Many years ago, Paul Simon, a singer-songwriter whom I'm extremely fond, penned the line, "These are the days of miracles and wonders." And I've always liked that line and found a lot of use for it. You might say I have an audacity for the minutiae of life, the things we see but don't really look at. And if you look at things closely, we really do live in an age of miracles and wonders. And today I'd like to talk about a tiny little miracle that's been close to my heart and also my foot of late. And that would be your friend and mine, Velcro. Now, technically, this is not Velcro. Velcro is a brand name. There's a company that owns that. But by the same token that all facial tissues are Kleenex and all gelatin desserts are Jell-O, all hook and loop fasteners ultimately are Velcro. Really. If they want to try and enforce that trademark, they're going to have problems. It is a hook and loop fastener. I don't know if you've ever looked at it closely, but on one side there's a bunch of little loops, and on the other side there's a bunch of little hooks that mesh into it. Velcro was invented in the late 40s by a Swiss engineer who went for a walk with his dog, came back and noticed there were burrs clinging to the pants, the hem of his pants, and to his dog's fur. And being an engineer and having an audacity for the details, he looked at that under a microscope and saw there were little hooks on there. And that was what was causing the burrs to cling to the fabric of his pants and to the dog. And that was how that plant had evolved to spread its seed. It was a delivery system, as it were. He thought it was a clever idea, and being an engineer, he looked to make $1 off of it. So he eventually evolved it into what is today a multi-billion-dollar industry. Took a while to get going. One of his early big customers, actually, surprisingly, was NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. If you think about it, that makes perfect sense. If you're in a microgravity environment orbiting the Earth or on the way to the moon, if you drop something or misplace something, it's liable to wander off and you'll never see it again. And in those confined spaces, you really don't want things floating around loose. You could use magnets to maintain things in position, but when you're counting on your computing system to fire your rockets and control your navigation, magnets make you nervous because they have a deleterious effect on those computers. So Velcro was a friend to NASA, and all the Mercury and Apollo and Gemini astronauts used a lot of it. And that was the beginning of the Velcro age, if I may coin the phrase. The U.S. military has also used Velcro, and probably still is in many applications, on a battleship or in a headquarters situation. But using it, even despite its strength, it has great tensile strength, and it makes a wonderful support system, bears great weight, and is very light. But for battlefield applications, it's not so great. It's hard to sneak up on people doing this. So the military has gotten away from hook and loop fasteners in battlefield applications, but I'm sure the fine folks at Velcro Inc. are not hurting for the loss. We can do many, many fun things with Velcro, actually, if you look at it. One of the interesting things I noticed this morning when I pulled this off, I'm wearing an orthopedic boot. I have a strained ligament. It's not a major injury. This boot could be made without Velcro. It would be a pain in the neck to tie. It would be more expensive. It would be more complicated. So the hook and loop fastener is just a convenience, but it's a nice convenience. It has made my life easier. It has eased my healing process, and I appreciate it. I noticed today when I was taking this off the boot that the hook end of the hook and loop fastener is kind of non-discriminatory. It will hook onto things other than the loops. For example, this sweater I'm wearing. Just makes it real nice. Now, it doesn't have the same tensile strength. You can pull it off more easily. But if a person wanted to prank someone and walk up behind them and just kind of casually, I would never do this to my brothers, of course, but if a person wanted to, one could do such things with it. So it's a versatile fabric, and it's a valuable one. But my primary feeling with Velcro, and I've been wearing this boot for a few weeks now, I'm going to be wearing a few more, and it has given me an appreciation for the small miracle that is Velcro. But it has also reinforced the primary reason I will never really be a huge fan. I am so sick of this noise. And I've been nicknamed Squeaky by my friends on the claims floor. And there are worse nicknames to have, but there are also better ones. So when the time comes that my foot is fully healed and I can be free of this, I will part quite gladly with our friend